Click the link below for a 30-day free trial of Audible. Yo! So as of recently, I've been coming into the new anime season with some lower expectations. There's still some good stuff scattered throughout this year, some things I've been anticipating, such as Kaiju number 8, the new Demon Slayer season, and a couple other projects that I've been eyeballing. But one that actually slipped under my radar was a new one called Go Go Loser Ranger. Now, I have heard the title thrown around here and there, but I never really kind of looked at it, never actually pay attention to it. But in certain posts on Twitter and stuff like that, people were saying that it was very good, and people were very excited that it was getting anime adaptation. So I went ahead, I checked out the trailer, and I was very, very, very surprised for what I saw, but in a very pleasant way. So after watching the first episode, we're actually coming in to my my very raw, intimate, slightly sexual thoughts on this first episode. And so, you know what, going to this series, man, I must confess, I'm digging it. Now listen, I hope to God that this series does not burn me like the way Ninja Kamui did, because y'all know my thoughts on that one at this point. But from so far, there's so much groundwork here that's being laid that I'm actually really, really, really starting to dig, man. But before we start today's video, guys, please make sure you use code DAFFY10 at your next purchase at animeexpress.com. Please make sure that you get yourself something nice like a hoodie, a t-shirt, a Pokeball, or even some anime inspired lights, anything anime related that you need. Please make sure you head on over there. Link will be in the description below. Please make sure you use my code. That is DAFFY10. And yeah, let's get on to it. As I was watching the episode and started making my notes and things I want to discuss, man, I just had a huge smile on my face this entire time. See, I grew up with Power Rangers, right? As a young guy, I grew up with Dino Thunder. I actually still have one of the first DVDs, the first 3 episodes. I grew up with Dino Thunder, Power Rangers. I also grew up with Power Rangers SPD, Space Patrol Delta, as well as Mystic Force and Ninja Storm. Now, Ninja Storm I watched more so than Mystic Force. Mystic Force was okay from what I remember. So when I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, okay, they have the Sentai trope, and we're actually going from the POV of a bad guy. I was kind of like, oh, okay, we'll see, because in the show, all these bad guy fodder characters, even just in most shows, they're just treated as people that are worth anything. The closest I can think of was that one filler arc in Bleach where that one guy just wanted to have beef with Ichigo, and it had some of the best animation Bleach has ever had and its entire original run. But that's the only other thing I could think of. So starting off, the first thing I want to say is I'm loving the animation. Now, obviously, I don't want to say it's superficial, but when it comes to the content of everything else that we're going to talk about here, it is it's not supposed to be the strongest point. But I think the animation is very, very solid. I love the color palette. I love how bright everything looks. If a scene takes place in a cave or something like that, it's very dark. It's this harsh, intense blue, but it's outside. Everything's very sunny, and each of the different Rangers, those palettes, they pop. They're having tons of body pillows and type of merchandise with all their faces on. This is a very recognizable design. I love it. Also, I had a flashbang reaction when I heard Gojo's voice come out of the Red Ranger, bro. I was like, oh, what are you doing here? He plays dude, his voice actor plays these overly cocky and arrogant characters so well, man. I hope he doesn't get typecast. I want to see him in other roles, obviously, but dude, he hams it up, and he does his job so well. One thing I hope the show doesn't do is I hope it doesn't make the Rangers too depraved or too sadistic. Again, I know it's gonna get that boys comparison, but I want them to be evil, but I want them to play more into narcissism, and I don't want them to just be these sick, demented, sexually perverted demons. I don't really want that. I want them to be more so people rather than just these deviants that are just horrible and I can see no redeeming qualities in them. I want there to be kind of that moral gray area. It's what I'm leaning towards. There's one thing about the boys is that I really don't like is that every character is sick. There's something wrong with every single character. Each individual person is just demented and twisted, and they just do weird shit in the bedroom. The comics obviously is infinitely worse if you know anything about that, but I'm hoping that we give some interesting, cool personalities to these Rangers, since they are going to be our primary antagonists to the protagonist here. So as I was making my notes for the episode, I was going through it and I was like, okay, so we have this giant like fortress that I watched Kamen Rider or anything like that. I've heard very good things, especially about the spinoffs. There was like a R-rated spinoff that I saw at one point. There was like blood and guts everywhere. It looked pretty cool. This is super random as well, but for some reason Power Rangers has really good fight choreography in a lot of its iterations, and compared to like a lot of modern shows, they can really kind of like stand and take some notes from Power Rangers. As weird as that sounds. Like, for example, I watched Monkey Man this past weekend with my girlfriend, and overall I thought the movie was okay. I didn't think it was great or anything like that, but one of the big things about that show, or that movie rather, was the camera. It looked like the person that was holding the camera had severe Parkinson's, bro. Like, the camera did not stop shaking every time an action scene started to boot up. They got to the point where I could not even see people's faces because there was so much motion blur. And there's at one point where like I'm glad that like I have a pretty like good like iron stomach, because I thought like as this shot kept rotating, I thought I was about to throw up. That's just a pet peeve of mine, because you compare it to like Power Ranger and things like that. Like, obviously these actors are on wires and everything like that, but you can see the choreography. Let the choreography breathe whenever you have these action pieces, man. It's not that hard, man. So let's talk about my man Big D. Let's talk about the darn Donna Big D. Yo, I already with this dude heavy. So honestly, I'm thinking about it, and I would not be surprised. I genuinely hope this show or this anime manga does not go in this direction, but I could see that fortress being some sort of like government like a created thing. Now with the boys, which is apparently like the boys and Invincible, is getting comparisons to that as well a lot on like my Twitter feed. All that means that it's gonna be like superheroes with lots of violence and gore. That's basically all that means. That term, like comparisons to boys and Invincible, literally mean nothing to me at this point. I just know it's gonna be hyper violent at some point. That's it. Like the boys and Invincible, those aren't even the same story. The boys is a caricature and satire of the superhero genre, but Invincible is still a superhero story, and it actually takes care, and it's not trying to make fun of these heroes and things like that. It's actually trying to put respect on their name. Yes, I know Mark gets his ass beat a lot, and I make fun of him for it, but this show is actually trying to have him progress and come into his own person, not necessarily hero, because later on the comics kind of leans off of that, but trying to him become a better, stronger person. End of that rant, sorry. But I could see the fortress being some sort of like government front to like make the Rangers like look good or something like that. The Rangers could be artificial. They could be like cyborgs. They could be genetically modified humans, and you know, obviously made by the government or some like entity to like kind of keep humanity under control, keep humanity like kind of calm and civilized or something like that. I could see that, and like maybe they made these monsters to be like, sure, man, why not? I'm a huge Dracula supporter from Castlevania. You know what I mean? Dracula did nothing wrong. That's my guy. Listen. Totally random. But bro, if that was me, bro, if y'all killed my wife, I'm wiping you niggas out the next day. This man Dracula said, hey, listen, I'm gonna be real with you. Y'all killed my wife in honor of her memory. I'm gonna give y'all a year before I bring all the forces of hell upon you and your children, your wife, your mammy, your sister, your auntie, everybody and their mama about to get wiped out. Now, if that was me, bro, I would just clap them niggas the next day. But no, Dracula actually waited on it. Me? Nah. Point is, I love me some bad guys, man. I love quality villains. That was really get me going. Y'all know me, local Sakuda Gobbler here. that's me. But yeah, man. So go Loser Ranger, man. I'm very curious to see what this show cooks up. I'm gonna try to avoid reading the manga. I'm gonna wait till season 1 finishes up, and then I'll see about the manga. I'm hoping this doesn't break my heart, like I said, like Ninja Kamen we did, but we will see what we have in store, man. Yo, it's your boy Dad from the future, and we are about 3 episodes really enjoying this show. Some of the dark undertones are starting to kind of make their appearances. Some of that violence I talked about earlier, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be egregious. It doesn't seem like it's going to be gratuitous, and it does feel like it's going to have a sense of purpose within the story. So I'm really enjoying that. D is absolutely hilarious. I love seeing D maneuver all throughout the world because he's trying to be this big bad monster, but he's just so underpowered compared to everyone else around him. Even the girl, I forget her name, the one that I'm gonna call her Makiba for all intents and purposes because that's who she reminds me of. But whenever it comes to her, or even like the other guy, I forget, the guy with the red hair that he impersonates, I love his interactions with them. It's actually interesting because there was a little thing that I missed, and I actually caught on my second read, where a bunch of the monsters, they're playing tic-tac-toe at one point, and one of the monsters gets beat like super, like, and it's super like obvious, like, how did you fall for this? And I think what it's implying is that on their own, these grunts aren't intelligent, which is why they rely so much on their leaders. Because even D himself is not very bright. He's not very cunning, except we do see that when he pulls with the Red Ranger at the end of episode 3, very cheeky, you know, you naughty, you teasing me, you naughty. So it's weird because, okay, we have this divine artifact and it's been taken so early from the Red Ranger in episode 3. Where do we go from here? Also, we have the stinger at the end of the last episode where this like blue monster thing just vaporized and like murdered these guys in the alleyway. So I'm hooked. I'm hooked. It's got its claws in me. My toes are curled and my butt's lubed up. So I'm ready for it, man. But yeah, it's me, boy Dad. Guys, thank you guys so much for joining me on this video. Let me know what you guys think about Gokko losing Ranger. Are you guys excited? Are you guys not excited? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. It's me, boy Daffy, guys, and I will see you all in the next video. Yeah, make sure you take care of yourselves. Have a good one. Peace.